Let's go into protection magic and the importance of protecting yourself. Now, I am a firm believer that the best way to work with protection magic is by actually using it in many different forms. Do not just have only one thing for protection, because you don't know who has access to your energy or what can come over. You might be doing a ritual and some energy is leaking, or again, evil eye, all the different things. So you want to be protected in many different ways, especially if you get in touch with a lot of people. It's so much easier to receive attacks if you only protect yourself in one way. So I will be sharing a lot of different practices of protection, and to really allow you to see what works best for you, but also to continue evolving in this practice. And you might really see that when you use only one type of protection, you'll see the different effects. You might also start to see the different levels on which a protection type that you've used starts to dissipate and having to rebuild it up. But today I'm going to show you how to create your own protection candle. This is a fast, it's an easy and a good way to protect your energy. And so I recommend you, no matter what, always have this. And you will see that it's a great, great way to keep your energy, your space, your home protected over and over again. So I just advise you to do this all the time. Now, what's very important is that you want to use something that is sort of like a bigger candle. The bigger the better, because that will mean it will burn for longer. It will continue that protection for you for so much longer, compared to if you were just to do a tea light. Then you'll have to recast that ritual, that spell, over and over again. While when you're doing it with something bigger, then it will last longer. The spell will continue to evolve as you do it. So that's why I recommend a bigger one. Now for this, I always recommend cleansing your tools. If it's a candle, for example, I recommend cleansing it with Florida water. You could also use blue indigo water, anything that you feel called to, but candles go from hand to hand to hand. So you want to always, whenever you start to work with it, cleansing and protecting it. So once the surface, the energy is cleansed away, what you're going to do is carve into the candle the word protect, or protection, or protect me. So carve that in. And you want to add it not just once. So you might want to add it on one side. You kind of like, I like to do 4 times. So that's kind of like on each side. I'm protected everywhere. Protect. Protect. And one more. Okay, so you have that all over you. You can also add your name if you wanted to, or yeah, your name sometimes can be like also a very powerful way to be protected. So you could add it anywhere you feel called. You can also add it for your business if you have a business, or for your home. once you have added that, also if you do have a sigil that you can create a sigil for protection, and I will share a video how to create that as well. But if you have a sigil already, or a word or a symbol that for you is for power, then you can absolutely add it here. That is something that you can use for protection, to call that in, to remember yourself of the energy being protected. Absolutely, you want to add it. But you will have anointed it, carved it in this way. Then you want to add an oil. Now for the oils, I do have my own protection oil that I make, and so that is always on my protection candle. But if you wanted to just don't know what oil to use, olive oil is always a good one for anointing, to carve in that energy. You could also use rosemary for this, a sage essential oil, a pepper oil. Those would be all really good ones to sort of like, even lavender, to bring in a deeper protection. Whole wood is also really good for that. So like we have a few different options of what you could do, add for that. So once you have whichever oil you're going to use, you can either add it into your hand. I like to add it into my hand, so then I can even more use my energy, speaking that intention of protection. And then you want to anoint the candle with it, making sure that you also anoint the bottom and the top. Then you might want to use certain herbs for protection. I like to use a combination of 3 in this case. Sometimes I also use a fourth one, but I can see it's a bit far away, so I'm not gonna get it this time. But here's 3 herbs that I would really recommend. 4 herbs, I'll give you all 4, that I would really recommend for protection, especially to protect your own energy, protect your home. Oregano is really good for psychic attacks, is also really good to protect your home and your energy. So oregano is in here. Rosemary is a really good for banishing and protection. And then in this case, there's also rue, which is also a really good herb for protection, for protecting your energy, for banishing away. Now, the other one that I recommend is nettle. Stinging nettle, you already can see just by the stinging, it's a deep herb of protection. And it can also be used for boundaries protection. So you want to add and mix your herbs together. I like to again speak the intention into them. Breathing into them. And then you want to again add the herbs into the candle. Now, a little trick that you can also use if you feel like, oh, the herbs aren't sticking, is, first of all, they don't have to fully necessarily all stick. It's okay if some are not sticking, so don't worry about that. But if you find nothing is sticking at all, help, what do I do? Then grab another extra candle that you have laying around. Let it form a bit of liquid wax, and then pour it on top of the herbs wherever they are on your candle, and just pour it over so that it will protect, it will keep it attached to it. I like to make sure that the herbs go specifically over where I have carved in the specific words. I like to add a bit on the top as well, not too much, but just a tiny bit. And then I sort of like rub off any of the herbs that I have on my hands. But because I have that intention of protection, I sometimes like to add any final herbs behind my neck just for a little bit of that protection, because there's the oil, there's the herbs, and you have all of that. So a very good opportunity to use it on yourself as well. Now, what are you going to do with that after all of that? So you will have your candle that might look a bit like this, and it's ready to be lit. So once you are ready to light it, you want to have a moment to connect with your intention, what you are envisioning for your energy to be protected, for your home to be protected, for your business or anything that is coming to your mind to be protected. Maybe it's your money. Let your money be protected. And when you're ready, you want to light it, and you can say something, for example, like, with this flame always burning, my energy is protected. With this flame always burning, my power is protected. With this flame always burning, my home is protected. So you could say something like this. You could also create a more specific spell. So think about, what is it that specifically you want to call in with this protection, and allow it to be added into the words of that spell, finishing with so be it and so it is. And yes, that's your protection candle. Keep it lit. I would say, when do you light this? Of course, you're not gonna keep it lit when you're sleeping, but whenever you are inside your home, in the room where you have it, keep it lit. You can also, if you are not specifically doing anything for protection at that time, you cannot light it. I tend to at least have it lit for a bit every day. You also can light it specifically when you're doing any forms of divination or spiritual work, when you are doing meditation, when you are doing rituals. Your protection candle should always be lit. And so that is going to be very, very important that you have that. And of course, as I mentioned, even just having it lit sometimes throughout the day, just to continue that protection, will be so important and so good. So yes, this is your protection candle. Can't wait for you all to create yours and to continue this as a form of ritual that is easy, it's great, and it's an easy form of magic that will bring in great results. Of course, I will talk more about other forms of protection as well, but this is a beautiful and amazing way for you to start. So can't wait for you all to create your own protection candle.